Hi, how you doing? I don't normally wear microphones like this. I feel like I'm giving a TED Talk. My name is Kamau Bell. As you heard, I am the host of CNN's United Shades of America. Just started season 3 last weekend. Thank you. I am contractually obligated to say that. Thank you, and welcome to Boycott NewFront, everybody. Look at this. Let's try it again. Welcome to Boycott NewFront, everybody. Look at this. Yes, I'm happy to be here. As I said, I'm the host of CNN's United Shades of America. I'm also a stand-up comedian. I'm also a dad, not necessarily in that order. We have some pictures from the show to show you what we do if you don't know what we do. That's where we were in the dark. There we go. Oh, there I am. That's me at a cross burning. So in the show United Shades of America, I think I was invited because what I do in the show is I travel around the country and talk to people about their lives and also go places where either you wouldn't expect a black man to go or you absolutely think I shouldn't go, like a cross burning. People ask me, well, this was the first episode of the show ever. This was the pilot. This was the thing that sold the entire show. And so when I was told we were going to do a pilot, I believe you go big or go home. So they were like, you can go any place you want to. I said, I would like to talk to the Ku Klux Klan. People ask me, why do you want to talk to the Ku Klux Klan? And I honestly, just to see if I could do it. That was the answer, just to see if I could do it. All my life, I was told to stay away from the Klan, don't look at the Klan, don't go to the Klan, don't hang out in the Klan, don't go to the fraternities that say Kappa, 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 don't do any of that. But when I had this opportunity to go do something, I was like, you know what, maybe this show won't sell, maybe it'll never air, but I at least want a story. And so I went, and we went to go meet with the Klan, and we sold the show, and then the show started airing. So at the first season of the show, it was all about like pushing myself to do things that I wouldn't expect myself to do. We went to San Quentin Prison, went to Camden, New Jersey to talk about community policing. And this show was in 2016 during Barack Obama's last year in office. And then the second season, things changed a little bit. And the message of the show got clearer. I say the first season was like the mixtape, the second season was like the album. For those of you who know what that means. You're all hip and cool. And so for me, it was very clear that like we need to really go to the people whose voices aren't being heard and highlight them and hand the microphone over to them. And part of that, because I'm from the Bay Area, I live in the Bay Area, Oakland, California. Yes, home of the Black Panthers, home of Black Lives Matter, where Colin Kaepernick first took a knee in the Bay Area in San Francisco. So all this stuff up here I relate to a lot. I'm not sure they'd all be happy about it, but we'll keep that moving. But the idea is that I come from a place that is filled with activists and organizing. And so I said, well, this season we have to get the activists in the show. So it's not enough to go talk to Native Americans about what it's like to live in their community. Let's talk to the activists and organizers about what we can do to change this. So that was the second season. We went to Standing Rock, talked to activists and organizers in Standing Rock, and then talked to people who live there. And then the third season came, and it was like, well, what are we doing this season? And this is the thing I think that we're here talking about Boycott NewFront and what we're talking about. I feel like it's time for action. It's not enough to just tell the stories. It's not enough to just show the stories. We actually have to move people into action. People ask me like, well, what is the thought process behind the show? What do you want people to do as a comedian? What do you want people to take out of this? And I work on a lot of anti-racism work, anti-homophobia work, anti-transphobia work, anti-Islamophobia. I'm trying to combat all the things. And people ask, well, what do you want to do? And I realized I boiled it down to just do better. We all just got to do better. If you're not taking a side, you've taken a side. We got to do better. And the thing about do better, it's not political. It doesn't choose a party. It's just about we all have to do better. And in this room are a lot of people who have a lot of power and a lot of influence. And it's one thing just to make your thing and put your thing out there, but it's another to say, how can we make this thing make the world better? We all get to define what better is. We all get to define who we want to do better for. But I feel like that's the mission of my life right now. It's the mission of the show. It's the mission of my stand-up comedy. It's the mission of the 3 daughters I'm raising. We got to do better. So all I want you to do from this moment I'm talking right now is just think about that as you see people come up here today and talk about what they're representing, what they're working on. how can I help this person do better? How can I extend this cause forward? How can I get hashtag woke and get the other people hashtag woke, whatever hashtag woke means to you? How can we do better? Thank you, everybody.
Kamau, thank you. That was fabulous. Should mention as well, not only did the third season just start on last Sunday on CNN,
yes,
but the second season, you won an Emmy.
Yeah, we did win an Emmy, yes.
So I think the message is resonating. As you mentioned, there was one president when you started the show. There's another president now, and you talked a little about how it's changed it. One of the things for me is it feels like the show is becoming a little less about what divides us than what bridges us. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, we were famously, in the first season, I met with the Ku Klux Klan. The second season, I sat down with Richard Spencer. And this season, we went into this show, I was like, I don't want to talk to obvious enemies. I don't want to talk to people who, I don't want people to think that's all I can do. So this season, it was like, let's just talk to people who need to be heard and need the microphone in front of them. And so the season premiere this year was about the U.S.-Mexico border, about the wall and all those things. And for me, it was like there wasn't any obvious enemy in that show. And I was really happy to find out that was our highest rated season debut ever of the 3 seasons we've done the show. That means I don't have to chase down the enemies. I can just highlight the stories that people need to be heard.
Now, we were talking a little bit backstage that you've taped the shows for third season already, but the world is changing so quickly right now. Do you have any concern that some of those shows could even be would have looked dramatically different if they were filmed?
I mean, at some point you have to just sort of like a Vegas dealer, just clap your hands and step away. But also I'm like sitting here going, do we have any Kanye references we need to take out? So there is this thing where you just kind of go, at some point you have to let it go, and at some point you have to take the slings and arrows for the things you didn't do and hope that you've earned enough loyalty with the audience that they will forgive you when things aren't perfect.
So when you talked earlier about the actions, not words, and I know you had talked about that even in regards to a Starbucks, for example, right? Closing the stores is one thing. It's what happens after. Is that same message both for kind of the corporate world and for your viewers? Is that what you hope your viewers take away from the show?
Yeah, because I find that the corporate world and my viewers all live in the world.
Shocker.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really want to see, I don't see the separation between the audience and the advertisers and the brands and CNN. You know what I mean? Like for me, as a dude who lives in Oakland, who then got a job at CNN, a lot of people are like, how do you do that? How are you bridging that gap? I'm still working with people, you know? Right. And as long as I can take myself into all those situations and not change myself for them, but also try to make myself affect those situations, I'll be all right.
I know you're a ways away from it, but if you had any thoughts or guesses on what a season 4 might look like, knowing the evolution of the show so far, any sense of where you see it going or want it to go?
I mean, I think that we want to get more specific. I think the first few seasons of the show, they're really broad topics like Muslims. But I think the more we go on, the more hyper-specific we can be and talk about really specific issues and not just religions or political movements.
Awesome. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.